And now a message from Alex Vaughn.
Hey, bros. Oh, what? It's Alex's voice because he's back on the podcast.
Whoa!
See, right. I have not done this in a long time, and I forget what to do when we come out of the music. The thing is, no dead air. And I just made it happen. My name is Alex Vaughn. I am back and in the hood. That being Halifax, Nova Scotia. With me in the same room, which is a rare studio apartment, is my little bro, in terms of age, Matthew Phil Vaughn.
Yeah, I'm 7 inches taller than you.
What? Who? Me?
Than you, yeah.
You're
'Cause
7 inches
you
taller
said
than-
little in age, and I wanted to elaborate that I'm 6. However tall you? 6'9"? No, you're not 6'2". How tall are you?
He's 7 inches taller than laying
This
down.
is the Hype Podcast.
Hype podcast.
The height and the hype.
Oh, wow. Everyone's really hyped today.
Matt is dancing around. For those who can't see, which is everyone but Will and I, Matt is busting a move.
Which is tough because I'm
which
6'7",
makes it hard for me to introduce the third and final member of the podcast, William C. William, how you doing, bro?
Good. We don't get hype, we stay hyped, to quote the Hype Bros, Mojo Riley and Zach Ryder. Yes, Alex, it's very good to have you back here on the podcast, back in the studio. And I still have to say, again, all those things you texted to us, those notes, those missives,
I texted
you can record yourself on your phone. You could have been on your phone. We could have been in Europe.
If you said this to us, it would have been huge.
It
would have been huge.
Wow. All right, circle out.
I thought about it and then I didn't. You know what? All right, going back. I'm going back.
You're going back?
I'll record some.
He's just gonna go right back. To
Yeah.
Hey,
Skip some places, see some other places, this, that, and the other thing. You know how it is. You guys know what Europe is like. There's,
Truly, I don't.
it's just all, very European.
I've seen European Vacation and Euro Trip. I know exactly what Europe is about.
I have not seen European Vacation. I think I've only seen Christmas Vacation and Vegas Vacation. Nor have I seen the remake of Vacation starring Ed Helms. And
Have you only ever seen Vegas Vacation on TBS?
yeah.
Okay, good. Just making sure.
Like 17 times. Yeah. Sid Caesar wins the money. He's got the money's mine, and he dies.
Is that Sid Caesar? I don't know.
I think so. Is that him? That's a name, right? That's a person.
Vegas Vacation for the first time last week.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which
does
is
it
funny.
hold up? I was going to say, does it hold up? You hadn't seen it before.
And
why?
It doesn't hold. No, it doesn't hold up because it's so hilariously 90s, and it's also more of a Vegas movie than a vacation movie. Because any movie like set in Vegas, Vegas Vacation, Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, Diamonds Are Forever. Like any movie set in Las Vegas is more about Las Vegas than the movie.
The Hangover.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, The Hangover 3 when they go back to Vegas.
What happens in Vegas?
Last Vegas.
Crucially.
Oh, with all the old guys. Yeah, I
First
forgot
Vegas.
that.
Yeah. And Kevin Kline.
Savio Vega.
Savio Vega. He's Puerto Rican.
So here's the question for you, Will. The question being, or to kind of clarify why I watched Vegas Vacation, because it was on TBS and it was 2001. Why are you watching Vegas Vacation in 2015 on special edition Blu-ray?
No. Ian Hanlon, friend of the show, had...
Cool, yeah, I mean, why do even... I don't know why I asked, because as soon as I asked the question, I'm like, Ian.
Why did you do an awesome
Ian is
thing?
involved.
He had the DVD.
I say that's an
Vegas
awesome
Vacation.
thing. Why should you do an awesome thing? That's
Why did you do an awesome thing?
It's a friend of the show. Come on.
I don't know if... Awesome thing is debatable.
Well, then we'll have to get Ian on the show. I'll have to ask him why he owns Vegas Vacation on special edition Blu-ray.
Not special edition Blu-ray, not the
Steelbook. It's not Criterion, actually.
It's not the Snake Eyes edition. It's not the
Vegas Vacation,
the Griswold Fanny Pack edition.
Yeah. So they would have some awkward case.
The Cousin Eddie edition. That all being said, I am looking forward to watching Christmas Vacation in the coming weeks. And I'm sitting by myself, talking to myself.
You guys know Adam Patterson, right?
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
So celebrity or friend of yours?
Both. Yeah.
He's a former
friend of the show.
What was the name of their team? He's an EH dub, right?
Sort of with Pike.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember.
It was like something money related, though.
Yeah.
Which one of them did RCW? Is it him?
No, Pike did. Pike did one show, and then I took over.
He was Tim's worst tag team partner.
No,
Sorry.
he interfered in a match randomly. That was like
in his
90
first
minutes
match,
long.
right?
Yeah.
90?
I don't know. It was Tim and Shake. It was actually a really good match, but it was just like
They're great.
way better than anything that was on that show by like a billion miles.
We're talking about local independent wrestling for those who can't translate.
The point
6%.
being, my only point about this
Yes.
is that Adam Patterson was Cousin Eddie for Halloween. That's really what I was getting at.
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah.
I respect
Give
it.
Was
him
it a
the
good
diatribe
costume?
of what happens there. Yeah. I'll try and find
Alex
it.
is going to pull it up on his phone, which will be useful to two of the listeners, us.
Yeah, I know. I listen to a lot of podcasts where like visual things happen. Not a lot, but like some.
Haven't
It's
seen
like,
me.
look at this, and I'm like, I'm not, but I
Look at
appreciate
this.
that.
You're gonna have to describe that. So I'm gonna do my best to describe this too. So it's a picture.
I mean,
it's a flawless Cousin Eddie. He's wearing a
he
white bathrobe. He has a cigar and like that.
He
kind
didn't
of
skip
flat,
lag
flat
day
back.
is the difference, but
Is he saying that the crapper's full? Censor myself. Yeah, that's good. That's the crapper's full picture right there. He's got the hose in his hand.
Yeah,
Oh, he's
yeah.
got the hose.
It's very good. It's very, very good.
Just like in the poster. That's great. Oh man, that's good. Yeah, crapper's
So-
full. That's a good one.
So obviously we're going to talk about Halloween costumes. Very relevant.
yes.
Well, on this week's podcast, we're also going to talk about Europe. We're going to talk about going to Alex and I went to a Patriots game last Sunday.
Yes, we did.
Well, I mean, not the Sunday that just happened.
Not the
before
Giants game, you big idiot.
Yeah. And
That happened
then
yesterday.
That was
and then
in New York.
I'm going to talk about Spectre because I saw Spectre, which is the 24th James Bond movie.
I'm going to talk about The Martian, which is...
Oh, yeah, there we go.
The Martian, but I'm not going to talk about it because you
You
guys...
could
guys
give a
took care
totally
of it.
spoiler-full one too, because
You guys did that, which I haven't gone back and listened to yet.
right. And Will be listening attentively,
Yeah, well...
contributing. He seems to be.
Well, let's not talk about what he's doing because it's useless to everybody but me. But
Sure.
he's full Conan O'Brien. For those of you who can't see Will Vaughn, which is again everybody, he's got like the full Conan O'Brien. Yeah, look.
No, even does the mannerisms.
But the mannerism was like I don't know what the.
That's the Donald Trump. You're fired.
Yeah,
Everybody
that's
does
what I was.
that.
I was like, that's Will doing an impression of Conan, doing an impression of Donald Trump without any audio whatsoever. Yeah.
So let's talk about Europe first, Alex.
Yeah.
Where do you even start?
You're up first. Get it? Because Europe and you're up.
Homonyms.
Sounds like
Homophones.
homo. I said
Well,
pardon.
I'm not one of those.
He's married
try to respect
to a
everybody
lady.
else. Oh, sorry, I was trying to.
He's married to a lady. He is. You've probably heard a lot of that in Europe, huh?
All
Right?
the time. Yeah.
Right?
Everyone said that.
It's
Right.
not. I'm
Do you want-
married
do you want-
to
do you
a
want-
lady.
Do we want to go ultra serious and talk about Paris real quick first?
You have to mention
As you're the only person who's been here.
Right. Who's been there?
What was your reaction? I mean, we're not breaking the news to anybody, I hope. Because
Yeah, no, I mean, it was pretty surreal. That's where I flew out of and was there
Most recently.
for 4 days. Yeah, so that's the last place I was in Europe before I flew. I flew from there to Montreal. So, yeah, it's just incomprehensible in a way to like be somewhere and then have what happened. I don't really have the words for it. But, yeah, it's pretty terrible to see, and hopefully we don't see anything, any escalation therein, but who knows at this point. So it's still pretty early on in terms of what we know who claimed responsibility and all that. But
Yeah.
So
You don't have to give ISIS a shout out on the podcast. That's true.
need to mention that I was having a conversation with somebody, and I was talking about trips, and I was like, "Yeah, my brother just, late 20s is doing the late 20s thing where you go to Europe for 6 weeks." And I was
As you do.
as you
I like
do.
being outed as a late 20-year-old, but that's fine.
Sorry. He's early 40s, people. Don't worry. He's quite old. But I was like, I was worried for his safety a little bit because he's going by himself, and it's Europe is still, kind of a far off land to me. But then you were there, photographs, met people, yucked it up, had a good time for 6 weeks.
Had a great time.
And
Yeah.
you get back just fine here on Canadian soil with a new PM. And I'm like, I don't know what I was worried about. He's fine. And the guy I was talking to was like, yeah, because we go down to America from time to time and think nothing of it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, unfortunately, bad things happen there too. But now that happening in Europe, I'm like, wow, okay, I'm glad
Close in proximity in a couple ways, timing and location.
like stadiums, like going to see shows. Like it's actually one of those things that's like,
man.
Like if your trip was a little bit later, if you were doing a couple different things, like, it could have been.
Who knows?
And like it's hard to fathom what it would be like to think about like to go through that, and then to have an experience of like, oh no, like I would be so worried, I would be so concerned, it could be terrible. It's healthy for us to get in a sense of like what people are actually realistically going through.
And
to have that fear, to have that chaos, that concern, that lack of understanding, lack of knowing.
Here's something I just discovered too. I got 2 Facebook alerts saying that 2 Facebook friends of mine are safe in Paris.
Yeah.
Did you guys get those?
Facebook does that.
Facebook does that during earthquakes or like anything like that. You can declare yourself
check in. You're
safe.
like, yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I had no idea.
That's so close to home, man.
Which really brings it way, way closer.
Yeah.
I had no idea that function existed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, it's bad that it has to, but it's good that it does.
It's a good function of what you otherwise would be like, yeah, no, it's social media. And it's like, no, it actually serves a
good stuff
societal
for technology,
purpose.
that's for sure.
Yeah.
Serves an actual social purpose.
Then you have people who like declare themselves safe. They're like in Halifax and like, I'm safe because of that typhoon in Japan. And you're like, yeah.
What happened in Japan? I thought
they had a tsunami warning.
Oh, yeah, because it's 7.
But nothing really happened.
Nothing happened.
What do you call that? 7.
This is called Matt catching up on the news. It's great podcast material.
This is good. Yeah, it's called Last Week's.
Anyway, rating 7, level 7 earthquake. What do you call those things?
Magnitude.
Richter scale.
Magnitude. Yeah.
They don't use the
Pop,
Richter
pop.
scale anymore. Here's something that's stupid.
Okay.
We all know
Andy Richter's out of work again.
Here's a stupid thing. We all learned what the Richter scale was. They haven't used it since before we were all born.
Yeah.
They haven't used the Richter
And
scale.
By the way, that's
the
the
Richter
daddest
scale too. It's like
that's the
7,
daddest you've
and then
ever
8
sounded.
is not like 1 worse than 7. It's
twice
like
as bad.
twice as bad, and then a 9's twice as bad as an 8.
exponential.
Something like that.
Exponential, yeah.
Yeah.
A stupid scale.
And then
What
again,
do they do?
that's
They use a different one now that works on the way that we would intuitively think of earthquakes.
Oh, okay.
That a 7 would be a...
We don't use it. It's
7
like
to 8 would be a
Canadians.
7th.
It's like traveling in Europe, and they'd be like saying how tall they were or like how much they weighed, and like you're on the metric system. They'd be like, yeah, I'm 192, and you're like 7 meters, and you're like, wait, but even though we're on the metric system, we still say like 6 nothing, 6'1" or whatever.
Yeah.
6 nothing. I'm 6 nothing.
Nothing. Or they say like the dumbest unit of measure has to be stone.
Oh.
Like I'm 12 stone 8.
I love
and you're
it.
like,
I
what?
love it.
A
I
stone
love
weighs
stone.
a stone is 14 pounds.
Yeah,
Of course.
That's what a stone
Obviously.
is. And so like I gained a stone. You're like, yeah, whatever. And then you're like, oh wait,
like a kidney stone.
no. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh,
Yeah.
you're just fat. I'm even more sorry to hear
You're
that
just
because I can
fat.
see it. I couldn't see your kidney
Oh,
stone.
you've gained weight. Interesting.
I just
Body
love
makes-
stone.
Your body makes those, so have fun with that.
They should count how many stone they weigh and how many hands high they are.
Yeah, like it's just
Well,
it's that weird thing where it's like we are
23
very much
stone
on the
and
metric
about
system,
14
but we
hands
like
high.
you'd never be like, oh yeah, I'm 88 kilos. You'd be like,
Because then you just sound like a lot of cocaine.
yeah. And then you say, yeah, because when I think kilos, I immediately think cocaine.
cocaine,
What else
yeah.
would I think?
I mean that I really
Been
do.
watching a lot
Oh,
of Narcos
cocaine's
on
everywhere in
Netflix.
Europe. I did a ton of it. It's super cheap.
Especially...
It's really good for giving you energy.
Yeah,
it's
no,
Estonian
I mean,
things.
like you're kind of like just a little pick me up. You're walking around. You're like espresso maybe, but you know,
You
So,
know, a little
Alex,
12-minute bump.
What was the biggest...
just kidding, Mom. I didn't do.
What was the
cocaine.
biggest surprise for you in Europe?
Yeah, if you did, you weren't going to sing it on the podcast. What was the biggest
What's the
surprise?
biggest surprise?
The biggest surprise. What was the thing that kind of took you off guard?
Besides how much better the show was when you were gone.
Yeah, that's true. I do hate the sound of my own voice, so it's much more enjoyable to listen to than being like, who's that douchebag breaking into song every 12 seconds?
That
That's
douchebag
me.
singing.
Oh, I thought you were talking about me. Okay.
You did try to make up for the breaking into song. I did better than you. Those are questions I really suck at answering. Where it's like, what's the thing that you... Bleh.
Let me ask you something more specific.
Smoking is everywhere.
Smoking's everywhere. Okay.
Yeah, it's like, what did you love about Europe? And I can name 100 things. It's like, what are the 3 things you won't miss about Europe at all? Smoking. Like, I am at the Madrid Stadium watching Madrid play, and the dude beside me is just like, just blowing smoke right in my face. I was at a bar in
so
Vienna.
let's shout out to the lung capacity of these footballers on the pitch
Yeah.
who have to endure because like you could
Second
smoke in the
smoke,
old
too.
Montreal Forum, right?
Yeah,
and
that's
and Maple
straight.
Leaf Garden, like
Guy
that's
Lafleur
amazing.
would smoke between shifts.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
that's so great. But also
That might be
not great.
folklore,
You had
not
smoke
popular.
blown in your face. You're like Roddy Piper and can't remember the name of the guy at WrestleMania 7.
Yep.
No vaping though. No vaping.
I'm sure people did vape. There definitely was, but a lot of like just pure. Like you can go. There's like vending machines that are just cigarettes.
What was there a cafe called Vape and Crepe? That's what I want to know. No. Okay.
If not,
Well,
let's get on that.
Let's get on
not
that.
that
Oh, guys.
not that I saw
The Vaughn Brothers Vape
so-
and Crepe Cafe. How good is Emily at making crepes? Get her on that.
Vape and crepe.
Though I was in Cologne, Germany, and I really had to do laundry really bad, but it was German Unity Day, so I was like, "Oh crap!" Like all the laundromats, the laundromats were closed.
Lean right in there, man.
Then I found this place called Cafe Wash Salon. I was like, "Awesome! I'm gonna go there, wash my salons." And I was like, "No, it's just a cafe. It'd just be like calling a bar here like the laundromat, but it's not." And everyone there knows that. But you're
totally go
walking
to
down the street
laundromat.
just like, son of a.
The bartender at the laundromat, he takes care of you drink-wise. He gives some
When you order a drink, he gives it to you, and he charges you the full amount.
Oh,
But even
sudsy.
like even in a bar in like Prague, you're underground. It's basically like the Cavern Club in Prague, and like everyone's smoking, and you're like, this is horrific.
It's like hotboxing tobacco, basically.
Yeah. Which is, and then like your clothes smell great the next. It's like you
Oh,
went
God.
to party
Stank.
golf in Dartmouth.
gosh,
Got an appy platter. Come home the next day, you're just like, oh, my clothes stink.
that is a deep cut, deep Dartmouth.
I do not, and you guys will agree as
EDC.
3 kids who never smoked. I don't understand cigarettes in 2015.
Even just as an expense, like let alone what it does to your health. It's like, yeah, no, this costs you $7 a day,
And to
7
me,
days a week, 365 days a year.
vaping is somehow worse. Just because the guys who walk around like they're the caterpillar from Alice in Wonderland, like sucking on this thing. It just
So
drives
vaping
me
and
nuts.
e-cigs are different, are they?
Yes, they are.
I think the concepts
I
have
think
to be
e-cigs are
related.
out. I think what's his name? Skeet Ulrich is out of money again. Remember Skeet was like, who was it? Was it Skeet Ulrich or was it? Oh God, some washed up actor was doing ads for e-cigs and he's like walking on a beach and he's just like looking all cool, like smoking his e-cigs, like just like a regular cigarette, man. And he's just,
Skeet Ulrich, like his biggest claim to fame, I think, is like looking sort of like Johnny Depp in the 90s.
I cannot place who Skeet Ulrich is.
All I know
you
is
can't
that
play Skeet Ulrich.
he's from Scream.
See, that's
maybe
not gonna help.
that's
He's from Scream.
it's not. No, it's some other guy who's in like Blade.
Oh,
or
what?
something.
This guy? I've never seen this guy in my entire life.
If you missed
I think Jenny McCarthy was in an e-cig commercial, so right away I was like, I hate these things.
Jenny McCarthy, she's like, oh boy. No, it's a dude in Blade. He's the bad guy in the first Blade. Stephen Dorff. It's Stephen Dorff.
Oh, it's Steven Dorff.
He's like walking
Okay.
down a thing. Yeah. I can't understand why e-cigarettes didn't sell better
Oh,
with Stephen
man.
Dorff as their chief executive smoker. The
Where was I?
CES.
And we were watching, like, the original Blade is one of those movies where, like, has, like, cutting edge CGI.
No,
But
it doesn't.
It's actually horrible, like, for the time.
No, it
Like,
doesn't.
they're fighting at, like, this speed that makes no sense. Like, there's, like...
You might be thinking
then-
of Blade. Are you not thinking of Blade 2? Or are you still thinking of the first Blade? Because the first Blade
know.
was like less CG. Blade 2,
Yes,
Guillermo
I am
just
thinking
went,
of Blade 2.
he went crazy because there's a part where Blade
Directed
fights
by
a
Guillermo del Toro.
yeah GDT and the place to be with Ron Perlman up in this with a bomb in the back of his head. But there's a scene where Blade like fights a super vampire against
Yeah,
like
this
a bunch
is-
of
this is-
lights. And
This
you
is
can
what I'm thinking.
you can find this on YouTube, but it's egregious. The CG, it's so floppy and like it's like Harry on the back of the troll in the
Yeah.
first Harry Potter movie where he sticks his wand up the troll's
Yeah,
nose.
bad news.
Yeah, bad news.
In
I'm
related
afraid I've
bad,
got some bad news. Anyway, keep going.
in related bad one, I was watching On Her Majesty's Secret Service, the James Bond movie from 1969, and some guy goes off a cliff, and it's like a great, it's a great one of those, not a mannequin. What would you not a
Like
mannequin.
a dummy.
Crash
A
test
dummy.
dummy?
It's a dummy, and he's falling off the cliff, and it's one of those things like the arm is like really like
when-
all the way behind, like hitting the back, and everything like
Like
that.
when Will
Like, the
Smith
rest
gets
is,
thrown in Fresh Prince
Yeah,
of
guys, we
Bel-Air.
only have one dummy, so we have one take.
And it's like it's great because they like it's actually like a 10-second shot of like falling off the cliff. You watch it the whole time, and he's still going. Like you can't even do an impression of it. 'Cause
His
it's
arms
utterly
there.
inhuman. That's the best part. And then it just hits the ground, and it's just like I don't know what viewers are supposed to be like. Wow.
Did James say?
Well, they should do a reshoot or something where it's like, James, you're going to... James, because
James,
obviously you call him...
obviously his character.
He's method.
Yeah.
He
He's
says it character on set.
So it's just like, we're going to need you to, like, break his arm over his head and then throw him in the cliff.
We need a quick insert of
because
you
that's what the
breaking
dummies
his
did.
arm.
Did James say something awesome after he threw him over?
It was Lazenby, so probably not.
He's like, I
He
threw
didn't
him
have,
over
he
the
didn't have that
cliff.
kind of charm, because you think that Sean Connery would probably be more like, he kind of has something.
He's like, he took a nasty fall. But
Sean
Lazenby be like, well, I suppose he won't be getting up anytime soon.
I love the idea of Lazenby being like...
Having met Australians, his accent is,
I've had
Fine.
Australians
Acceptable.
praise my accent. Actually,
it's actually not bad.
Apparently, I sound like a bogan, which is the Australian equivalent of a redneck. So
Yes.
Nice.
Well, that's the thing too. Is like you kind of learn the dialects. And like there's this like weird, for lack of a better term, like Australian Valley Girl accent. It's just like it's so as equally as grating.
But there's
as you
also,
would expect
have you
it
ever
to be.
found an upper class Australian accent? Because it doesn't exist.
I've never found it.
No.
If you hear their prime minister speak, he sounds as dumb as every other Australian, with respect to Australians. But the guy sounds as stupid as every other
Respect to
Australian.
those idiots.
He's
Respect those idiots.
Well, it's funny. I ran into these guys. I didn't run into these guys. I met these guys in Vienna, and one guy is Canadian, lives in Toronto, but he grew up in South Africa.
South Africa. Yeah.
South Africa. So we were watching. Yeah, no, that's terrible. We were watching. So you guys were explaining that. I think in a podcast Ian was in. It's like, here's what the South Africa is. This layered on top of this, and like
It's
did it.
English and Dutch.
Oh.
So
yeah.
you do gold member, and then you put...
Yeah, I started a
Roger
gold
Moran's
member.
hat.
Yes.
Yes, I have a Dutch accent. Actually, I
It's
just
like
found out I
Matt
work with...
McIntyre talking about some guy trying to do a British accent and like clearly just watched like 3 Michael Caine movies, so it's like just doing a Michael Caine impression.
That's
pass the groceries for you.
yeah, that's a friend of ours back here. I also met
Tangerine, the size of a tangerine.
I also met a girl who was Dutch, but I didn't know she was Dutch until she asked for milk, and she said like that. I was like, "Are you saying moo?" She's like, "No." In Holland, we
Are
say,
you saying boo?
"Are you saying?" I say meow. I said, "Are you saying moo?" And she's like, "No." In Holland, we say boo. I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah. What does the
Like
cow
cows
say
say
here?"
boo?
She asked me this, 31-year-old man. What does a cow say? And I said, "Moo." It says moo. She's like, "Yeah. Well, we say boo." I was like, "What are you kidding me?"
What does the cow say?
Boop, 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 boop.
Boo, 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 boo.
It's
So-
like, some cows say boo earns though. Just some
That's
cows.
such
do.
a weird concept. to
I
be
was
like,
mooing Boo Earns.
Well, Alex, you were in Holland. Did you have any bovine related conversations?
Boovine. That would make... I could see a connection.
Bovine, yeah, okay, now makes perfect sense.
to answer your question, no.
Maybe because the cows in Holland, when you look at them, they cover their eyes, and when you turn away, they chase you. Give that
Yeah,
a second.
nice.
Yeah,
Boost.
yeah, okay, good.
Killing it. Super Mario 3.
Oh. See, there's a thing in Doctor Who. They're statues.
I've heard of these.
And
Yes,
then,
the
so
Weeping
when-
Angels or something?
Yeah.
Why do we all know this kind of?
How do you know?
None of us watch this show, by the way.
I watch it all the time.
Doctor Who. Which one's your favorite Doctor? Capaldi?
Michael Bennett.
Michael Fassbender? Michael
Michael-
Bennett? Seattle Seahawks?
Ah.
my favorite Doctor Who
David
is
Tennant
Michael
is what I
Bennett.
meant.
Seattle See, that's funny because I like Jermaine Kearse when he was the Doctor a lot more.
I like Eddie George.
By the way, the Ravens have I think it's a Sunday night game against the Seahawks this season. Not looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's in Baltimore. Not
That's
looking
the
forward
weird
to it.
thing. We won't talk about football too much, and I know we didn't talk about Europe, and things will just kind of come up anecdotally as we go along.
And organically.
Yeah, because like I said,
Free
before
trade,
we're on
fair
air,
trade.
I'm really bad at talking. Like,
Farm
how
to
was
table
Europe?
conversation.
It was fun. It's
Yeah.
a different continent.
Everything
That's
was
good.
different in
It's
some
okay.
ways.
This whole show is just talking, Alex. You're doing a great job.
Thanks.
I'm not good at talking
man.
about Europe. The only one who's ever been there. Talking about it on this
I
show.
had a point. I don't remember what it was.
We
Where
were
was
talking
I
about
going?
Doctor Who, and then we were talking about Michael Bennett.
Oh,
Seattle
the
Seahawks.
NFL.
Yeah.
So the only thing I was really good at keeping track of is like, did the Patriots win or lose?
Yeah.
And it was. We don't get into it. but
Did
they
they
won the
lose?
game. No.
They lost 0 times
Yeah.
during Alex's trip to
Yeah,
Europe.
during my trip to Europe.
So,
then the other things
same
I
with
miss
the
out
Bengals,
on
though.
is like I
Bengals
come
lost
home and I'm like, how is Detroit 1-7? Like, what happened to Detroit? I looked at like I messaged you at one point, Will, which I kind of felt bad about, but I was like, is Baltimore like 2-5 right now? What has happened? What's their record as of? What's the record?
I would prefer not to answer the question.
Okay. Are they ahead or below
I'm gonna-
the Cleveland Browns?
I'm gonna pass. I'm gonna pass that question.
So their fortunes.
I'm gonna abstain from answering that. Thank you so much. That was my Ravens press conference answer right there.
amazing. Amazing.
So not things are not good. I'm so glad that
Things are not good.
Torrey
Not
Smith
good.
left and went to the
I'd prefer not to.
wonderful San Francisco 49.
address the situation. prefer not to address the situation.
Oh, man.
It is crazy to see it with the 49ers and Ravens went after that.
So, yeah, it's just like to see, like, Detroit was, I think, in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, they lost to
Yeah,
Dallas.
but how was their division last year? Because they would have been second to Green Bay, and then Chicago and Minnesota probably didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Right, but just in general, like, you can be,
Minnesota, by the way,
Yeah.
good,
What?
great
Season.
state.
National hero, Adrian Peterson.
Oh yeah, well, it's more of a Teddy Bridgewater sitch over there, but
Yeah, I mean,
He got concussed, and then he's better. He's going to play.
well, we can
What-
talk about
how's-
how great Dallas is doing with Greg Hardy, but we won't talk about that.
Let's talk about the Patriots game that you saw recently, Alex.
So, yeah, 2013, I went down to Houston.
Not when I met.
Okay.
That's recent. It's within 2 years. That's recent.
I was thinking within the last 8 days.
Oh, that recent. Okay.
Yes.
Let me narrow it down because I've seen a number of Pats games in person in the last 8 days.
Yeah.
Really? You could really only see 2.
Oh, so the
like?
Redskins game.
Yes.
The Washington football team.
You just said it, though.
I know, and can we cut that part out?
Did I mention in Minority
We had-
Report that they changed their name in the future? Because it's set in Washington, D.C. I mean, that show's going to get canceled, but they said in Washington, D.C. They called
There's
the
a
Washington.
show called Minority Report?
Yes.
What do you call it?
I talked about it on the show. Wait, pay attention. They changed the name to the Washington Red Clouds. That was the name change. They're like, yeah, Super Bowl 2087 winners, the Washington Red Clouds. Anyway.
Oh, that's dumb. Washington Warriors. That's a good one.
Like, literally anything but that. There's a thing in Master of None where guys are like, they should be called the Washington Breadsticks. Breadsticks sounds like Redskins. And they're like, are you serious right now? And Red Cloud is somehow worse than that. Why the Red Clouds?
Red Cloud could not be worse. There's no
Is that
such
like
thing
a
as
red
Cloud.
sky at night, say like red sky at morning, sailors take warning, watch out, the red clouds come and get you Sunday. Is that what it is?
RG8, quarterback of the Washington Red Cloud.
Maybe it's referenced to like a nuclear holocaust that happened in that show because it's set in the future. Yeah, and they're like, yeah, we're so dangerous. We're like the end of humanity.
Oh, gosh.
Which actually, the real Washington Redskins are pretty close to that, right?
Pretty close.
They're
well, you know
pretty
what?
egregious.
They couldn't catch a pass last week.
They're egregious.
Couldn't catch cold.
Let me ask you who was starting under center and who finished under center for the Redskins.
Kirk Cousins.
Same person.
Was it Kirk? I thought they had their second string out there.
No.
I don't
Colt
watch the game
McCoy?
at all, so I don't know.
No, Colt McCoy.
We went to the game
Yes.
at Gillette.
Okay, so you guys, yes, this is like
we did everything too.
this is Mecca, right? For you guys,
Yes.
this
Yes.
is Mecca. All right, you did everything. Now, when you say everything, what do you mean?
Well, I'm referring specifically to things like tailgating and having beer at 10 o'clock in the morning.
We did have 10 a.m. beers because you have to. Like, if you go out
Required.
to, like, breakfast with people and you're like, yeah, I'll have a coffee, I'll have just, like,
I'll have a Sam
vodka Red
Adams.
Bull. You'd
Yeah.
be like, whoa, that's weird. But when everyone around you is doing it, then it's just like mob mentality. Like, oh, everyone's drinking beer.
it's
doesn't-
called-
like, you
Every
know.
guy named Sully is having a beer here.
Mob mentality is an attractive way of labeling it. I call it peer pressure,
Yeah.
and that's serious.
The peers pressured us by having super cool.
It's more like beer pressure. Am I right? beer pressure is what I get at a bar when I have to pee. Anyway, so you guys.
That was a great mom joke. Not our mom. in
yeah,
general.
our mother will be. She'll slap me in the face for saying that, and hopefully
They're-
you too.
Everyone calls them dad
Dad
jokes.
jokes.
Someone was like, that was a great mom joke.
I'm gonna change it to
It
mom
seemed like
jokes
more of
from
a
now
mom
on.
thing to do. Mom
Oh
jokes.
man, every lame
Mom-
joke.
Hashtag mom jokes.
It'd be like, what a mom joke? Why can't it be a dad joke? Or
Yeah.
shoot, I messed up.
I know what he meant. So, Ox,
And I was
what did you
confused
think?
when you said it.
I effed up.
So tailgating was pretty significant. People were out there doing their thing.
Yeah.
So
There's
people drive to the game and
Yes.
drink
Yes.
before the game
And
and,
they set
during
up
the game.
these huge. They set up tents and they have huge barbecues and they bring a lot of food.
But, like-
It was a health, yeah.
Maybe I'm just super naive. How are these people not all arrested on the way home, or do they just like cool down during the game?
I mean, what
Well,
we
we didn't
did.
finish our story. We did get arrested.
No, not
oh, sorry, what?
But I mean, it was like for me, like I had a couple beers
such a
at like
great
10 a.m. and then
Yeah.
I had to have 5 guys at the stadium at 11 a.m.
By the
And
way,
then Shake Shack for dinner.
and then Shake Shack for dinner.
our Five
And-
Guys here closed temporarily for potato bugs or something, and I almost cried when I saw the
Oh, my
paper up
gosh.
on the thing. It's like, we're closed for a little while, and I was like, oh my goodness, oh my damn.
Oh my goodness, oh my damn.
I'm
That's
kind of
very
glad there's
scary.
not one here because I feel like that would be.
Well, and we did Chipotle too. Well, which I mean, both those things remind me of the last time I visited you in Vancouver. I was like, "You guys have Chipotle?" You're like, "Yeah, what's that?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's amazing."
Chipotle was awesome.
You have
Will's dancing. I wish we could have.
By the way, shout out to the E. coli breakout for Chipotle. Shorter lines over here. It's great.
Was there
While we were in the States, in the western part of the United States, there was an E. coli breakout, and Chipotle had to shut their stores down for like.
Oh, good. We only ate at Chipotle like 3 times. So
In the Pacific Northwest, they closed down temporarily.
I did feel a little like E. coli-ier than normal.
E. coli-ier?
Maybe.
E. coli-ier.
You know what? Every time they said, guac is extra, I kind of did a mini fist pump in my head. That's what I was looking for. I wanted them to tell me guac was extra.
You can get a shirt, so like I know the guac is extra, so it's like I'm a baller, but you can only get it at like that Victoria's Secret place pink, but I kind of want it for myself anyway, just to sleep in, you know.
Good God.
So you drink. I mean, I drink at 10 a.m. and then you just kind of like I had another day during the game, but it was fine.
Yeah,
it was just I don't drink like those other people did though.
You mean those?
I don't know. I mean,
people.
I feel like did you feel like there was probably a lot of people drunk driving after the game?
Well, it seemed like it.
Like how are all the cops in Foxborough not at the stadium?
It's not just all the cops in Foxborough. It's all the cops in Renton and Middleworth and whatever. Like, there's just like 7 different police forces out there.
There was a lot of law enforcement.
Tons of them.
Their presence is very well known.
And they do this 8 times a year. Well,
more
than 8 times a year.
It's crazy to see it
because of preseason
and playoffs.
Yeah.
Let's face it,
and then the country the concerts they have at the stadium during the summertime. Obviously, the Revolution. That's a world famous tailgate. The New England Revolution.
The NER?
That's a joke. Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't know how they do it. And it's funny too. Like, there's a 10 a.m. Like everyone's drinking beer, and then you're like walking back to your car at 6 p.m. and people are still there, but they're pissed.
Oh yeah.
They're just completely pissed. So it's just like, oh man.
That's a very European.
It's
like
different.
It
is.
Yeah.
The beginning's like kind of like a fun camaraderie, and then the second time is like at the beginning of the 4th Harry Potter book after when the Wizard World Cup and the Death Eaters come out. It's like that.
Yeah.
It's like there's debris everywhere. It's dark. People are scared.
The Death Eaters.
I'm making it seem worse.
Oh my God! The Death
But we
Drinkers.
went to.
Well, you've seen the NFL live before, right?
They're the Death Drinkers.
Oh, wait a minute. No, you ain't.
Oh, too soon. I've never been to it.
And he lives, relative to us, much closer proximity to a team.
Well, we like
an issue team, but a team nonetheless.
To the most annoying team in the league.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, for me, because of my proximity, I'm right here.
Yeah.
See all the Jagoffs walking around in their Seahawks stuff.
Your hair's fine, by the way. You can stop doing that.
Will's enjoying his hair.
Working my
boy. So
and no one knows what I just did.
Seats are up our seats are in the upper deck.
Yeah, we were high. We were way closer to the lights, to the heavens.
But it was good to watch the game.
To the heaven that is looking into Jimmy Garoppolo's eyes.
Yeah.
I saw your tool fee, and it looked good. And then I was like, oh, what's this shot from the seats? And I was like, pretty good seats.
Pretty good. But there's not a bad. It's such a good way to watch the game. Like, there's not a bad seat in an NFL stadium. Like, you're high up, but like, you're not like, where's the foot? Who has the ball? Who is that? You're like, you're completely aware of everything.
Like, I would think it would be at Lambeau. Maybe you'd sit behind a column, but the stadium's not designed that way.
Yeah, and I think they've done revamps on that. So that's not a thing that happens.
There's some serious revamps on that. Yeah,
unlike
same
Fenway,
with Soldier
which still
Field.
has
They've
columns.
really changed that a whole lot.
Soldier Field, they cleared out. They just took everything out of it.
I think the only arena in the world that has obstructed views is the Halifax Forum. No, and the Barclays Center
and
for hockey. And Fenway.
Yeah, Fenway definitely has that.
Actually, there's probably more than one. There's probably a lot.
Yeah.
Barclays is annoying because they were like, we don't have hockey here. It's like, you have it like the next year, you idiots.
Well, why did you not have the foresight to just?
It's
why
stupid. Like, of course, it's gonna be hockey there. There's like 7 teams
arena.
within like an hour's drive of there.
So
don't look into that too much.
What? Why does the Barclays have obstructed views for?
Because it was designed
for basketball.
Yeah, it's built for basketball, and WWE's TLC in 2013 is built for those two things. And
didn't they have like 3 events there back to back to back?
They did. They sold out 3 nights in a row. Actually, this past summer.
Yeah, because it was NXT,
Pay-per-view and then Raw.
SummerSlam? No.
At Takeover, SummerSlam, and Raw, which is
Survivor
insane.
Series this Sunday?
It's next Sunday. No,
it's this Sunday.
It's this Sunday.
It's this Sunday.
Next Sunday, right?
Now, okay, since we're on the subject,
the Undertaker came out on Jimmy Fallon.
Doing sound of turkey. Since we're on the subject,
Gobbledygooker reference.
Now I don't know what kind of insight you guys are gonna have. I still watch it every week. Still real to me, damn it.
Here's the thing I am aware of in the wrestling world.
Seth's hurt.
Seth's hurt.
And he's out until SummerSlam next year, probably.
And finish the match because, of course, why wouldn't you? And he, there's a big misconception, not a big misconception, but certainly a misconception that when you tear your ACL or MCL, it hurts, and it doesn't because there's no nerve endings in those ligaments. So it's just like severe instability, like your knee's just like wobbly.
And your kneecap's your meniscus, right?
Yeah. Well, the ligament behind is the meniscus.
So he busted all three.
Yeah.
ACL, MCL, meniscus.
Meniscus, yeah.
It blew up. Yeah.
Yeah. So. What's good? I mean, as soon as you tear your ACL, like this is going to be a stupid way of saying it, but as soon as you tear your ACL, you're out for 8 months, and so the meniscus and the MCL.
So you might as well tear the whole thing. Is that what you're saying? If you're going to eat
once
poison,
you tear the ACL, you might as well rip the whole thing, rip
out
up the whole carpet, redo the floors.
It's just like actually, ACL. Let me see. Oh god.
Yeah,
okay.
So that's all I'm aware of in the wrestling world. I don't even know what the last pay per view would have been.
Heck in 1 sec.
Heck in 1 sec, which ended with
Taker with Brock F5ing Undertaker on the exposed wood.
So Sky Sports plays them in England, in Europe. You have to pay for them. I think they're like $14.99 or something like that. But they start at like 2 a.m.
Yeah, and it's still
Hell in a Cell tonight at 2 a.m.
They were just in Manchester. They just did their European. They're just finishing up their European.
Right.
Swing.
Well, I mean, Seth hurt his knee in Dublin,
and that's what they're saying is
Brie Bella was in they're in Paris.
They're at the.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. That's what they're saying is a reason he could have hurt himself is because he did he's doing a sunset flip over Kane from the top, a spot he's done a ton of times, but maybe the jet lag and the travel, and he is the champ, so he is being paraded out for press all the time.
Yeah.
He could have just been run down and just like maybe he's just a frog hair off and he flips over and he blows out his knee. So this is the situation we're looking at now. So we have this championship tournament going on. The finalists will be determined on Raw and SmackDown this week for the finalists to win
So
Sunday.
someone have to wrestle 2 matches on Survivor Series?
I
Or is it
hope
just gonna be
so.
one? Okay,
I
yeah.
hope it's 2.
2 matches are awesome.
Because I like
like when WrestleMania 30, Daniel
DB?
Bryan's beat Triple H and then
toss
came
and
out
tails,
and-
baby.
Yeah, that's the best.
So
I think Seth did too to WrestleMania 31.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. Here's the thing, too, except that Seth lost his first match. Here's the thing. Here's who we don't have. Don't have Seth until SummerSlam next year. John's out until after Christmas.
Why?
He's working on a project, and from everything I've
It's
heard...
Cena, right?
This is John Cena, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
everything I've heard.
he's got a pet project. He's really into paleontology. He's doing a dig in
sweet.
Montana. So
It's not John Morrison. So John's out until Christmas.
What's
working on a
his project? You're going to say something about it?
The thing I was going to say
rap
is
album?
I don't know. No, I've been listening to a bunch of stuff, and I don't know what he's working on. Randy's hurt. Daniel's
really?
still... Yeah, he's bad shoulder. He got knocked because he was supposed to wrestle at Hell in a Cell, but he wasn't able to because his shoulder mucked up on him. And then Dan is still out. And Dan... I think Dan, he's probably done, but I don't know.
So who's the best bet to take the title back?
I was going to say, Reigns is who you'd put the money on. I was going to say, just give it to Wade Barrett because what else is he doing? But
he got slapped by Wayne Rooney.
He did get slapped by Wayne Rooney, and he also lost his match to Neville.
Oh boy!
And Ryback lost too. He lost to Kalisto, and Kalisto actually gave him one of his best matches that I've seen, as far as big guy against little guy. So I should have the brackets in front of me. I don't.
Dolph's going to win.
I won't look it up because it's going to change by the end of by Survivor Series anyway.
Oh, and Alberto Del Rio's back. I also know that.
ADR is back. Yeah, with Zeb.
Additional dialogue recording.
Yeah. It's gotta be.
That'd be great if he was ADR and his gimmick was he'd speak Spanish backstage, but someone else would voice him over. Be like, I really think that I will beat him tonight.
Wasn't there a wrestler that had like some weird?
That was Funaki. It was Kaientai. Funaki and
Indeed.
Ichinoku. Indeed. Yeah. Anyway, so Survivor Series coming up, and it's
is Lesnar wrestling? Because otherwise, I don't care.
And that's a problem for the company. Is that they need
your biggest draw is not a full-time
that's
guy.
actually I'll throw him out there too. Lesnar's out, and that's a big
he's
problem.
injured or he's just not.
Just not his dates, and he doesn't have to wrestle when he's not supposed to wrestle. He's
He'll be in like the Royal Rumble probably or something. That'll probably be the next time we see him.
He'd be entering 30 and he'll just like German suplex guys over the top rope to the floor. Oh, what a sick bump that would be. One other thing I'm just going to say quick about Survivor Series, because the rest of the card is everything's kind of in turmoil right now because of the title situation. Is there's 4 Wyatts and there's an Undertaker and a Kane. I wish they could have found like 2 other guys to be like, yeah, we hate the Wyatts too, and we'll do 4-on-4 Survivor Series.
So there's Bray Wyatt.
It's Bray, Braun, Luke, and Rowan, who just came back out of nowhere. It's like, oh,
because he wasn't. Yeah, of course he did. That was my fear. Is like, oh, it's just the other guy who they just threw in there because they didn't know what to do with him.
Yeah, I don't know if he was hurt or whatever, why he left. But and then Undertaker and Kane, the brothers are back. But I wish they like.
Yay!
I wish they found 2 other guys to pair with him, so we can do a 4-on-4. But
are they doing
it's
a
like,
2-on-4?
Well, let's get the Big Show and let's
Mark
get
Henry. Mark Henry.
Khali in there.
yeah, go Big Show, that'd be great. Yeah,
And like I said, here's the rub on the match is that if Undertaker, Kane, Khali, and Big Show win or lose, then they all have to retire.
they all have to retire.
If they win,
and then they win.
they don't have to. They don't have to work anymore.
They don't have to work anymore. Right?
They stop working.
They get a package, early retirement.
I'm a little surprised at
I don't think it's really
Undertaker's
retirement anymore.
run right now. He keeps doing shows, but I think what he's going to do is just do show after show, and then WrestleMania he's done.
It's like what they whenever they talk to Brady, he's like, "Yeah, I want to play for another 10 years." They're like, "Well, can you?" And he's like, "I think so." It's like, "I feel good now." And they're like, "Why?" He's like, "What else am I going to do?" And I think that's a Taker thing. He like takes time off. He's like, "I'm so bored." Like,
Yeah,
he's been going for 25 years.
He doesn't have a hunting show
As Taker.
he can do with.
As Undertaker in somewhat varying forms. I was watching an old Raw on the network, and the main event was Undertaker against Kama, the Supreme Fighting Machine. But Kama came out on crutches, so instead he fought. Instead, he fought Sir Mo. Do you remember when Mabel won the King of the Ring?
Of the
He had
Ring?
Sir Mo.
Sure do.
Big fat.
Something I was thinking about the other day was
he did.
I was explaining to Emily what NWA was. Not the rap group, but like
National Wrestling Alliance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oddly, there was a Straight Outta Compton mural in Prague randomly.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I was explaining I was like, well, that was 2002. And I was like, that was like 13 years ago. And I was like, oh, that's weird to think that like the time between now and 2002 was the difference between 2002 and 1989.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
So like all that stuff that I was like, oh man, Ted DiBiase, he was such a classic wrestler. It's like the people 2002 are kind of like classic wrestlers now.
yeah, it's like if
AJ
people
Styles
are
is the new Ted DiBiase.
Yeah, people are like, it's weird. 2015, like 2015 is to 1985 what 1985 was to 1955 and Back to the Future. Holy schmagolians!
Yeah.
Honestly,
Holy Margolians.
big on value.
tracksuits
They're
from
big
that
on
place.
value in Margolians. Shout out to Truro.
By the way, I didn't lose a single thing when I was in Europe. Not a single thing.
Nothing was left behind on
When I was
you.
younger, towels.
Didn't lose your
tracksuits,
tracksuit?
gone. And that clearly is just making up. Now I'm like very hyper aware of everything.
I mean, that just means you learn from your mistakes, right?
I got my paperclip. I almost forgot my paperclip. So,
Gosh, coming bad.
Oh,
hey mom,
what is that?
all these mistakes end up, having some sort of meaning in the end.
What's that paperclip thing from?
Microsoft.
Oh
No,
not
no.
Microsoft Word. Isn't it from like a show? No, never mind.
Oh, I don't know.
There we go. I was talking about how much I like references that people don't get. I don't like references that I don't get.
Yes, but it wasn't a reference. I just thought a paperclip
I know,
would be a
yeah.
funny thing to.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
Alex, do you want to talk about
No.
Martian first, or do you want me to talk about Spectre first?
You talk about Spectre.
Okay, sure. I'll
let's-
talk about Spectre.
let's talk
Alex
Spectre.
talking about his globetrotting ways. Let's tell you about another globetrotting.
I did play with the Harlem Globetrotters.
Nice. That's very sweet.
Actually, I saw the Globetrotters once, and it was a really terrible show. Anyway, keep going.
I don't think there's a lot we can say about Spectre without spoiling it. Just
Well, you don't have to say anything.
Have
about
you
it.
seen it? What are you
have
doing
to
with your
say
hair,
anything
bud?
about
It
it.
is so
I can tell
annoying
you-
to watch you play with your hair right now. Put on a freaking hat.
I will.
Let's go. Let's see it all.
I'm not going to spoil it. I'll say what I can without causing any issues with it. I guess if you were like me and you didn't want to hear anything about it, then I guess don't listen to this. But also go see Spectre. So this is what I thought. This is what I thought of Spectre. I was going into Spectre. I had really insanely high expectations of it. I was very much
Oh yeah, you had the highest of high expectations.
highest. And coming out of it, there's like the things that I noticed were I like Skyfall more.
Yeah.
Skyfall is definitely like my favorite Bond in the last 20 years or more, probably. not too stiff competition there.
Did you name your favorite of all time? By the way, do you have a favorite one out of all 400 movies?
Mine's The Spy Who Loved Me.
It's actually, I thought that was a good one, but then I watched it again and I was kind of like, meh. I don't like a lot of the Roger Moores. I guess I would probably say I don't really have any problem saying Goldfinger. Really, Goldfinger.
That I think the most classic Bond.
It is, and it's the one that it's so funny because
That where he says, "No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die."
Yes.
Yeah.
People said it after Spectre, they're like, "Oh my gosh, I feel like it was a return to the Bond formula," and I don't think people know what the Bond formula is because like it's pretty different movie to movie. Like when people think it's a Bond formula, it's just they just saw Goldfinger on TV 10 years ago. And they're like, "Oh, that's the Bond formula." It's like, well, it's Goldfinger.
That's what I thought. I thought Spectre was a return to a Sean Connery style.
A little bit, but then there's
that.
so much different from it. There's so much, and like there's so much of it that felt it didn't have the feeling of James Bond, I guess, which is I don't know how to.
Which was weird because they did change Daniel Craig's character's name to Don Donaldson, so that's probably why it partially felt like it wasn't a James Bond.
It sure didn't feel like it was James Bond, but it didn't have that same kind of feeling for it. I think one of the biggest problems these movies have is that the cast the supporting cast of MI6 is made up of actors and people who are too good and too recognizable for them to just kind of be the people who James Bond talks to at the beginning of the movie and then sees at the end.
Like Ray Ray?
Like Ray Ray.
Yeah.
Rafe. And I think that it kind of suffer. Like the movies suffer for that because they're like, oh, we got to get Ray Fiennes in it more. It's like, well, because otherwise people are going to say, oh, he was kind of wasted. So I think they overuse it.
What I was reminded of is that Rafe is a bad butt. He's a bad butt.
He's a bad butt. That's for sure.
He's a bad
I didn't
mother,
like
shut your mouth.
the credit or the title sequence at the beginning with the song's not very good and the title sequence I think was bad. I think it's the worst of all the Daniel Craig's.
Yeah, it was really weird because he's really never been in the title sequence before. I don't think
he has, just not in that way.
Okay, I like the song. If you look at a list of all the songs and you're the most gonna get you songs to the most this is actually really hard on me songs that's where that one falls. There's I love killing for money and for country, do give me a license and I'll kill. That was from
Give Me a License and I'll Kill was my favorite Roger Moore movie, by the way.
Yes,
from 1980.
Yeah,
he goes to Portugal.
Yeah. But I'm saying as far as a more emotional. Sam Smith said it was like a James Bond diary entry. And by the way, I saw Sam Smith on SNL this past weekend, as anybody who watched the show did.
Who hosted?
It was Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banksy, okay.
Lizzie Banks. It might have been the first time I've seen him smile. He did kind of a happier, more upbeat song.
Yeah,
going out to party.
Yeah, because he's with Disclosure. It's not him, right?
Who is Disclosure? It's just two guys who one guy plays the drums, the other guy plays the thing.
Name of the.
Because it's him and it was Sam Smith and Lord.
Let me get out to let me see if we can finish this off.
No.
Spectre.
I want to yes, and there's
we never talked about the Pats game either. We really never get into that.
We should.
Alex, you came from Europe recently. Could you tell us a little bit about what Belgium was like?
Waffly.
Excellent.
Okay. Don't waffle on the subject.
Okay, real quick. So I thought there weren't a lot of really interesting action sequences in Spectre. I liked the beginning, but that was really kind of about it. I liked Christoph Waltz a lot. People thought he was underused, but I enjoyed him quite a bit. I thought he did a good job playing the character he played in that movie. And I also felt like it was super long.
Okay. It is very long.
It's the longest.
You saw it as well?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
Yeah. So, but
before I go see
as
movies,
good as you expected.
No, before I see movies, I check the running time. And I was
in case you ever want to do cardio simultaneously, what's the running time? Yeah, okay, I got it.
I got time to run. I was 2:30. Whoa, that's a big
Dennis o'clock.
So it was slow. I found the pace very deliberate, and what it would build to paid off for me. Christoph seemed in the midst of the movie. You're wow, he is underused, and then when they do use him, you're oh, okay, no,
they're using him too much. Come on.
It's worth it. Let's talk about Dave. Dave, I thought, was used very well.
Perfect.
Dave was used perfectly.
I know, but he's Seth, John. Let's talk Dave.
I know.
Let's talk Dave
I'm
for a minute, everybody.
Yeah, but you guys know who I'm talking about.
Yes,
though.
but there are people écouting who may
I'll
not.
give you the Rick Campanelli hands here. I know who I'm talking about.
Nice.
Yeah, I liked. Actually, there's not too much more I can say about it.
Fair enough.
Without spoiling it. Yeah, okay. I'll leave it at that.
You said something in a tweet, Matt. Or should I go ahead, Will?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And my question to Matt is, and I actually wrote about this earlier today, that 10 bad % of something can spoil 90 good % of something.
Yeah.
It's like a worm in the apple. The worm's not in the whole apple. It's just in part of it. But the whole apple's ruined, Matt.
Yeah.
Explain.
Well, the only thing worse than finding a worm in an apple is finding half a worm.
Yeah. Well, I found that when I went back and watched Casino Royale, to add to your point, you're like, this is a really good movie. And then some of his dialogue with Vesper is so terrible. I'm just like, I can't. Yeah.
And that's a long one too. Also,
I watched it.
It's not
I
as
watched
long
it
as
because
Spectre.
I was in Venice, and part of the movie takes place in Venice. I went to Europe recently, so I just kind of want to see that.
What's funny to me too about Spectre is like they had a very short production time. I thought, didn't they just start shooting it last year? And I'm
9
like,
days.
they had such a short time to shoot it, and such a long movie was kind of odd to me. But it does have these very long scenes. I want to also say about the theater I saw it in. Is a renovated theater. It used to be like the little kind of like 80s theater in town on Fifth Avenue, and it used to be run by another company like Cinemark or something. But now it's run by Cineplex, and they have a bar there, and you can bring like a Caesar. Like speaking of tailgating, you can bring like a Caesar into the movie. And I watched it with Ian and his sister. And after the end, Ian's like, I think we're the only people in the theater who didn't get up twice during this movie. Because it was all older people with alcohol in their bodies. So there's like, I gotta take a pee. 1 second, please.
It was funny to see all the older gentlemen at all the people who are clearly like old James Bond.
Can you move your legs, please?
Real quick, actually, I was at a wedding before the Patriots game last week.
Everything's real quick.
I know. Well, I'm trying to.
And it's not. Also, don't put your hand on this side when the microphone's on that side.
This guy over here with his real quick. Am I right?
So I was in a wedding in the U.S. and I was at the bar.
You were at a wedding. You weren't in a wedding.
I was at a wedding in the U.S.
American wedding
at a bar. You stay with me. And so at the bar, I couldn't hear what the guy ordered, but then the bartender was like kind of confused and looking around, and she was like, "I don't think we have any tomato juice." And I was like, "Oh, that guy doesn't know the Caesars are Canadian."
Yeah, you have to order a Bloody Mary.
Yeah, that's as close as it gets. But he was just like, he was like, I don't know, I don't get it. What do you Caesar? You guys should know.
Here's your salad, sir. I don't know why.
I did order a vodka martini, shaken not stirred, at that wedding.
Yes.
By the way, vodka martinis are always shaken. He doesn't have to specify that. It's gin you stir because you don't want to bruise it. Steve Jobs, I saw, and kind of told you about.
It's called Steve Jobs.
It's called Steve Jobs.
That's one of the reasons it didn't do very well at all. Yeah, it's just called Jobs. But unfortunately, Steve Jobs didn't perform well. But the movie itself, I loved.
My boy Mikey Fast was probably.
It's just the dialogue is just like delicious.
I love Jeff Daniels in movies too, like here and in Looper, and like
a movie called The Martian, which we won't.
Steve Jobs,
yes,
yeah, he plays the John Scully, former Pepsi CEO,
and he's in The Martian,
which he's great in. JD is he's also in Dumb and Dumber 2, which was legendary. But yeah, JD is great. Mikey Fast was awesome. I love the 3-act structure of the thing, where it's just because you could do so much, but that you can mount that as a stage production because it's just 3 locations.
I think Sorkin said something about that. He's like, it's fun that he used to write. Think this was a movie.
Yeah, he used to write plays, right?
Well, A Few Good Men was a play.
Yeah,
and then became a movie.
So it's delicious, and it has lines in it that still come to my mind to this day. Like, and then I'll get a phone call that says it is done, and that's all. No, you're dead.
Oh my gosh! Some of that stuff in there was incredible.
It's tasty, and also the best Polish accent I've ever heard from a British actress.
Who?
From Kate
Winslet.
Kate Winslet does not have a Polish accent in that movie.
Yes, she does.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does.
She talks like herself the entire time.
She says she's Polish.
She says she's Polish. She doesn't have a Polish accent.
Dude, listen to it again. Seriously, she's Polish.
I met a guy in Barcelona. I was in Europe recently.
I hope you do this the rest. I hope we never talk directly about Europe. We just talk about it like directly.
That's what's going to be. I said it's going to be for the next like 6 months.
I met a guy from Poland, and randomly in Barcelona, I met a guy who went to the same elementary school as me, of all places. But we were talking to this guy about like Spain and then like Canada and Poland, and we were just like, "Hey, yeah, Poland. Are there black people there?"
Why is that the question?
Not really.
That's amazing. Not really.
Yeah. And then you're like in Spain and like you're just walking down the street and then like you see Asian people and they're just like speaking obviously perfect Spanish because it's like seeing a Asian Canadian person speaking without an accent, but you're just like, oh right, the other way.
That's weird.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that. How do you know that language? That's so weird.
I mean,
What's the first way?
we did have some drinks in us. We weren't just like, hey.
First question, black people.
You drank a lot of sangria. Lots of things.
I did. I had the worst sangria lips you've ever seen on a non-Spaniard.
Standard.
What was Alex? You saw that? What did you think of the Martian?
The Martian was fantastic. It's funny because I want to say it's roughly the same running time, maybe 10 minutes less than Spectre's. Over 2 hours, probably 2:15.
But man, it moves.
It goes so
gosh.
fast. There's the best thing the worst thing you can say about a movie is if you mention it's long, that's not a good thing. If you're aware of how much time is passing, then that's not. You're just like, oh god, this is still going.
Well, but the best thing the Martian does is that it starts.
And you're right in it, as you said.
Right in
like
it.
you're
It's
on
not
Mars.
like, well, we're going to Mars. It could be dangerous, but here we go. All right, we'll launch. We'll go. We get that cool Apollo 13 shot where the pans down the rocket. So the reason the Martian
I think you mentioned that
well,
on the podcast too. Is like Interstellar is just like, oh boy, it takes a while to get into that. Like he's not in outer space for like an hour.
Yeah, I know. It takes a while.
Full hour.
It's like a movie though.
By the way, Maddie Mack is hosting this Saturday.
Who's the musical?
Madam Hello herself.
Ray Parker Jr.
Adele. Ray Parker Jr.
Oh, Madam Hello herself. She's doing McConaughey and Adele sometimes.
Right.
It's just like when Mark Maron hits like he's like, oh, this week I have Corden and then I have Lorne Michaels and I have
that was
like,
a huge 1-2.
Yeah,
punch.
yeah. And then like sometimes he'll have like 3 weeks where I'm like, I don't know who any of these people are. Like like Jim Bob's an old country western record producer from the 1840s. You're like, I don't care.
That's how he gets like 650 episodes, though. He's just like,
I'm
talking to everybody.
Months and months of times.
We were driving. Two things that happened on the drive home from New England. One, I got 6 out of 10 on the James Bond quiz. Anytime he asked a question, I'd pause it and then try to answer. You got like 10 out of 10, but I was still impressed with my 6 out of 10. And then
he's actually I made him sing 3 songs too. He did.
I did.
It's true. It was good.
It was pretty bad. It was Live and Let Die. I think Skyfall and
you did
Goldfinger.
Yeah.
Yeah, all you got to do.
And then I did sing The Man with the Golden Gun after that.
Oh yeah.
Such
Such a stupid song. I do want to watch that movie again.
Diamonds are forever.
Diamonds in
Diamonds in the sky.
Feel the vibe.
Oh,
Oh,
No, that's
God.
not actually in that one.
All of us were
Still alive
terrible.
every time I rhyme.
You only live twice. Well, Robbie.
Oh, the second thing that happened on the drive home is we're listening to. Have you listened to Lorne Michaels on Mark Maron on WTF on Why the Face?
Yes.
Okay. So we're listening to it, and we're like,
Why the
we're both
face?
fully aware of the fact that it's an hour and 59 minutes. We're both like, this is a 2-hour thing.
Sweet.
And then, like, we're driving.
Oh, God.
Like,
And he gets to the end, he's like,
thanks,
thanks,
and him
Lauren.
and I, like,
All right,
both
bye.
have to grab the phone. We're like, what is that? Oh, it's 47 minutes in. What happened? And then he, like,
Everyone
cuts in.
did
He's like,
that. He should have said at the beginning, be like, all right, folks, I talked to Lauren Michaels. This is actually in 2 parts. Because he finishes, he's like, all right, Lauren, thanks. And I was like, I don't think you got everything you needed to out of that. He's like, I didn't get everything I wanted to out of that.
Well, it's funny, too, like, Apatow, when Apatow was on, and Louis C.K., those were 2-part episodes.
Right.
And
Yeah.
Carlos Mencia, but the Carlos Mencia was, like, 2 different interviews. But, like, he easily could have done that with this, because both those episodes are, like, an hour with his intro, so he could have done the same thing, but he just
could
makes
have
it
bought him an
a
extra
2-hour
week.
podcast.
You could have done a Hunger Games and cut it.
Oh, we would have been mad. Then.
Yeah, so that was a weird reaction in the car. Another thing, did you guys see James Corden's parents being correspondents for the NFL game?
Yes.
Oh my Lord, no!
Oh, it's so. Please watch it. It's like
great.
8 minutes. It is a delight.
They don't know
It's a delight.
anything. It's
It's
great.
the Buffalo Bills and the Jacksonville. Like they legit talked to Blake Bortles in a press conference. It's hilarious.
Oh, Bortles handles it.
I
Really
became a fan of Blake Bortles.
Oh
after
yeah.
this.
Because they invite him over. They're like, we have a room. You can like stay, and he's like, yeah, sure. Are you cooking? He's like, well, he's a better cook. It was pretty great.
And she's like, I don't know what team to cheer for. He's like, why don't you cheer for the guy who's staying at your house?
Well, I mean, I'm sure Bortles has a great personality because
He looks like he's 47 years old. Everyone's like, he looks like present day Pete Sampras.
I saw pictures of him. I was like, who's that? Who's that guy for the Jaguars? I have no idea who it is. And I saw it was Blake Bortles. I was like, no, because Blake Bortles is the younger guy. And it's like, nope, that's still him.
Blake Bortles is a very old man.
By the way, if you hated the Color Rush jerseys from last Thursday, I think this Thursday is even more egregious.
Yeah, it's
all gold,
it's
everything.
the Jaguars and the Titans.
It's the next, because there's a whole question of like color blindness, the red-green color blindness thing.
Yeah.
The next most significant color blindness is blue-yellow, and it's blue.
Is it actually?
It is.
Wow.
It's the Titans doing light blue, and the Jaguars wearing like an all-gold thing, which looks...
Hey, so that's the thing I learned this week, that red-green color blindness is a thing. That show must have sucked for people to watch in Canada.
But it's like 6.8%. Like, it's a lot of people.
Yeah, it's definitely a good amount of people. And then they're talking about it, I think, on the Simmons podcast, and they're like, no, I can't remember, it doesn't matter what podcast it was, but they're like, clearly, like, a player, if the percentages are that high, somebody playing that game was probably red-green colorblind.
Where would you get that far, though?
Well, I don't know. That's the thing. Like, I did. I got that far without knowing I was red-green.
Well, I mean, you're not red-green colorblind.
No.
Maybe a guy started a game, and thanks for talking over a great Steve Smith impersonation, but somebody probably started the game fine, and then he took a hit, and he's like, ah!
Oh, no!
He lines up behind.
It's like the Giver in here.
Lines up behind.
Spoiler alert on the Giver.
Geno
man.
Smith? No, not Geno Smith.
That's not a spoiler. That's the premise of the movie.
Yeah, spoiler.
Oh, Fitzy. Who's spoiling what?
Fitzy
He's
Pats?
spoiling the Giver.
Concussion
book.
with Will Smith? He's got a Polish
That looks
accent
good.
in That, right?
That looks good.
Tell the truth.
The Revenant. Oh my God, the trailers before the Martian were good.
The
Revenant.
Okay, did you guys see the latest Revenant one?
No.
No, I don't want to because again, I'm just like I don't know what's happening.
I want to go into it like just as much as
It's like when I
too
first saw the
much.
Inception thing.
Gives
Thank
away
you.
too much.
Oh, really?
That's why.
Yeah.
That's what Inception
And
was.
I
I
was
was like,
saying to
all you need
Ian
to know is
afterward.
it's Nolan and DiCaprio. I'm good. And now it's DiCaprio and Inarritu.
It's that's to me. That's the studio. I think looking at October box offices, and they're like, "Oh no, this is terrible. We need to show people what this movie's about because nobody knows like the story of the movie. We got to show them the story of the movie."
And the title doesn't like The Martian. You're like, this guy's on Mars. That's all we need to know. And then The Revenant. You're like, that could be. I don't know what it's about.
Zero clue.
Someone's very
I can
cold.
tell
There's
you
a
what
lot
it's
of breathing.
about without spoiling the trailer. There's a show from France called Les Revenants, and then in America it was called The Returned on A&E. So put two and two together.
Those aren't the same thing.
Yes, it is.
As the movie?
As not as the movie. I'm saying
Yeah,
there's
okay,
a French show in France called Les Revenants, and then in America they made the same show, but they called it The Returned. It's like how Grace Point was something else in
Beach Blanket. No, what was it
Blanket.
actually called?
Beachcombers.
Torchwood. Torchwood?
No, it was Broadchurch was the
Broadchurch.
version.
Torchwood was
I think
that
it's-
Doctor Who offshoot because Torchwood it spells out as a whatchamacallit for Doctor Who.
It's a cinnamon for Doctor Who.
It is a cinnamon toast crunch. The taste.
What are those things called?
See. When you rearrange the letters, you make something else.
Yeah.
It's not an anagram, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Maybe.
There we go.
I'm
sounds
still
smarter
so
when I
proud
say
of
it's not a
myself
blank,
when I
isn't it?
find out what acronym is. I'm like, because I used to forget acronym all the time. It's like it's one of those things where like the first initials of letters stand for something. It's like FBI. It's an acronym. Speaking of getting hit in the head, Fur Coat Ronda on Saturday.
Yeah,
Did you see this?
Talk about?
fight,
We're running out
Alex?
of time. But we got to talk about UFC.
We're running out of time, folks. They're going to
Who's
pull us off the air.
Ronda?
He's talking about Ronda Rousey.
Yeah,
I don't know
but
why.
what's for Court
You
Ronda?
have to ask him.
It's from the Kings of Catchphrase Comedy.
Oh yes, yeah.
I'm
You know what I saw in my
Ronda.
head? I saw Chelsea Peretti when he said Red Coat Ronda, whatever her name is.
Oh,
Did
Fur
Moshe
Coat
Kasher and Natasha
Ronda.
Leggero actually get married? Did anyone see that?
Who?
Moshe Kasher and Natasha Leggero got married? It was weird.
Really? Okay.
I didn't even know they're dating.
I mean, I was
Anyway,
at that wedding.
yeah, so I watched the highlights today of Ronda Rousey. She was 10-0 going into this fight, or 12-0 or something like that. And get the ish kicked out of her.
Literally, like kicked.
Yeah.
Not
She
really.
Well,
looked-
everyone was kind of like after the fight. I didn't see much of the build up, but everyone was like, "Yeah, girl, you were way too cocky going into that." Like she didn't touch gloves before the fight, and like she was just being a real.
It's too much.
real,
That's how Silva went down too.
Jerk
Silva
face
was
about
cocky.
it. Yeah, you just like I don't know, start believing your own hype. Like Mike Tyson once said, "You must be humble, or life will visit humbleness upon you," and that's what happened to
But-
her because she got
What a
kicked
good
in
way of
that. She
putting
got
that.
knocked the f out. Like she
Yeah,
got.
Chris Tucker was in the
knocked
front row.
out.
He ran in the octagon. He got her in her face. How did Michael say that, though? You have to say it how Michael said it.
Well, I read it in a book.
But you know how he said it, though.
You don't. I mean, I think it's fairly well known that my impressions are
I know, that's
not
why I wanna
impressive.
hear it.
So I'm not going to do. Give me 6 weeks. I'll try to do a Mike Tyson impression. My Marcel the Shell is still the best one I can do, but I still need 7 or 8 hours to
prepare?
the character. Yeah.
Good Lord. Also,
Yeah.
real quick, to borrow from Matt at the end here, the Comeback Kid, Mulaney, on Netflix. Free show,
about that.
hour and 1 minute.
Ooh, yeah.
wonderful.
You guys should check out Master of None as well, by the way.
I saw the pilot of Master of None. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Yeah.
But Will, what did you think of Comeback Kid?
Loved it. Loved
Super
it.
good.
It was a very well produced piece of comedy.
It was huge.
From the direction and how it was shot. I like the simplicity of the stage, and it's John Mulaney as you've always seen him before, which is good.
But I think it might even be better than New in Town.
Well, yeah, it very well could be. With comedians, it's difficult because like usually their first specials are one of their best ones because it's like years of material. And then afterwards,
that wasn't his first special though, because he had
was that their
albums
second
before
one?
that.
The top
part. Okay, well then I'm talking out my.
But no. But there's a point you are making, which I think is valid, which is like that was a significant step up for him, I think.
But I guess there must be a point where experience meets writing. You know, it's like. Older, the writing is better because it's like material from years and years past. It's like when Flight of the Conchords made their second season. It wasn't as good as the first one because their first season was all songs they had for years. And the second one, they're like, you have to write more songs. Like, we can't. Like, we don't have any more songs.
These things are kind of organic, you know? It's not like every week you have to do a podcast and just talk about bullish. You just do whatever.
Yeah, bullish.
And talk about trips to Europe.
If you want to hear more about Alex's trip to Europe, unless Will has more to say, and he doesn't.
No. I was just going to say about, just everybody check out the Mulaney special because everybody has Netflix, and check it out.
That's not true.
Check it out. And Alex is just as funny as John Mulaney. You can find him on Twitter where?
At Evaunix, EVAUGHANICS.
We missed it. We missed having that
funniness might not actually be legally guaranteed.
Yes.
So
don't
hold it to us.
I am on Twitter at MPVaughn. Will?
Yes, you are.
But what about
I thought
yourself?
you were looking for confirmation that you're.
Will, am I on Twitter there? Thank you.
I'm on Twitter at William C. Vaughn, WILLIAMCVAUGHAN. Good to see you both again. Literally, yeah. And this is only the second time you've been in the rooms together, and the second time all three of us will be in the room together will be soon, sometime in December.
No, I'm out of town.
December, Mutumbe. You're out of town? Get back in here. We're going out on this,
how you
by
know
the way.
words to it. That ironic. That James Corden and Alanis Morissette ironic update. Pretty good. Yeah,
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Why does she have to give him crap for not enough women on there? Is he going to resign and install a woman?
No, it's a joke.
It's a joke, man. It's a comedy. It's a comedy show.
It's a comedy. I also watched James Corden in Into the Woods. He's a good singer. He's a good guy.
Yeah. Dude, Tony-winning actor. All right. Well,
you'll have an EGOT.
This has been pleasantly unenjoyable, and I'll talk to you next week.
It's been magically delicious. Catch me Lucky Charms.
Let's go get a goddamn snack.
2 seconds. No.
Double R. Rex Ryan.
Okay.
Hard Knocks, 2010.
By the way, shout out to Breaking Ground, WWE's version of Hard Knocks. Okay.
And shout out to me.
Shout out to Hotline.
And to Rob Ryan.
Yeah.
Rob Ryan. Let's mention less Ryans. Jack Ryan.
Paul Ryan.
Shadow Agent. Paul Rand.
Ryan Air.